So far we have discussed about some data types which are used in Python. Say, for example, we have seen how to use the string and different methods on strings. And I focused on string very much because you see, in bioinformatics data analysis, mostly we will deal with the sequences, right? Whether it is a DNA sequence, RNA sequence, or protein sequence. So sequence is nothing but here uh, in any programming language that is described as string. So the string methods are very much important. The syntaxes which are uh, used in string, that is also important to practice so that you can utilize these things during the problem solving. So I don't know whether you have noticed that I have already uploaded another lab work uh, in your shared drive, Google Drive. So you can see there some problems is given. Okay, and those problems are basically related to strings, lists, and dictionaries, or any kind of data types they are using. So, and to solve that problem, another thing is required, that is uh, the checking of something, that is if-else condition kind of thing, conditional loops, and then the for loop, and basically looping. So if some time remains today or tomorrow, I will definitely touch these things. Uh, how to use loop in programming, and what do we mean by loop, first of all. So that kind of problem, that is not given based on the bioinformatics problem. All these are generalized problems given there, but you can think of, certainly we can design some bioinformatics or biological problems with those concepts. That we will discuss how we can design some problems based on these general facts. Okay, so then we have discussed the lists and how to create list and how to access that list elements, how to find out the length of the string, and different methods which are applicable on list, like append, extend, count, insert, pop, right, sort, reverse sort. Okay, and we have also seen how to join the elements of a list, right? I think we have done this much. Is it so? Can anyone inform me? So far I can remember, I have done this much. Some more things are there, how we can.
Sir, up to count we have finished. Sorry, up to join method.
Yes, sir. So far we have done these things, right? So for example, again I am repeating that till now 75, so almost 100 students are there, so let them join. So I am repeating that one part only. So that is, suppose a sequence, a small sequence is given, that is ACAT. Now this is a string, as you can see that it is under single quote or double quote, we use any one. Now you have stored that thing in a variable, that is a sequence, ASA. You can name this variable as per your choice, no problem with that. Now here we are converting that particular string to a list. That is a very easy method, easy technique. Just write list. So this is a keyword. You can see that color is also in different green color. You can see that here. And within the first bracket, it is written the variable name ASEQ. And now if this is making a new list, so obviously that list has to be stored in a new variable. So you are using another variable named as new. Okay. So now if you print that new variable, so what it will print? You can guess that what it will print. Anyone?
Sir, ACAT.
Yes, ACAT is already there in the sequence.
The least form of ACAT.
Third bracket.
Right,
Square
within the third bracket and separated by comma and within the single quotes, right? All the entities. Very good. Now the thing is, we are trying to join these list entities or list elements with no separator. Okay, so that thing we have already mentioned, that if you are trying to join without anything, so you can just put two quotes over there and then use the join operator, dot join, and write that list say. So this one. Okay. Now what will happen? So obviously that will create a another thing, another join output will be there, and that should be stored in another variable. So that is after join. So every time the variable, you are changing the name of the variable. Now if you print that after join, the new variable where you have put this joined elements, so what it will print? So the concept is, already you have seen that it is divided into different elements in the previous syntax when you are making the list, and now you are saying that okay, so you join this back again. So what it will print? And
ACAT.
Right. So you are joining with no separator, without any separator, right? So it will print ACAT again, and again you can do it by another way. So same thing will happen if you are joining this ACAT. This is also a list, and you are using the same syntax, and you are putting that inside the variable. So if you run this, you will get that this is also forming ACAT, and by this way also you can do the same job. You are getting the same output ACAT. So this is just a test case, nothing else. Okay, so we can move to the next part. That is, so sometimes we need to know what are the index position of a particular element in a list. So we can use the index method. So there is a method already named as index. Suppose you are taking these variables a, e, I, o, I, u, these sets of elements in a list, and you are making that variable name as vowels. So you can understand, if we write vowels 0 within third bracket, so what it will call? It will call a. So this is a very known method already. Okay. Now, if you check that vowels dot index, and within the first bracket you are typing the element from this list. Okay. So that means you are trying to extract the position of this particular E in that list, and that position or that index we are trying to save in another variable known as index. So that is the way you can do that, and obviously you can print that index. Okay. Similarly, you can search the index for I. So now you can see what will be the output of this syntax. What will be the output?
Sir, can you please
The two.
repeat, sir, why we see the files index E? I mean, why we need to do this?
Okay, sometimes you see, sometimes you are making a list and then you need to identify the position of a particular element. Okay, so we have talked already about the indexing of a string or indexing of a list. So that is not written here. When you are making a list, you are not making the index here, but at the background it is already created, right? For each element, it is stored in a position, stored in some place in computer memory. So those positions are termed as index, and you see that is started from 0. Say for example, is A here in this list. A is stored in that 0th position. Okay, E has stored in a first position of that list because these are ordered elements. Okay, now your job, if you are writing a code and you need to check, okay, I will check the position of I in that particular list. Okay, so you can manually check that, that is starting from 0. If it is starting from 0, so 0, 1, 2, manually you can check that I is in second position, means if it is started with 0, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Sir,
Yes.
we have done it on the earlier class also.
Yes,
Up to
which one?
this. Up to this.
Okay. So what will be the output then?
Sir, 2. For the first I.
For the first E, that is 1.
Sir, you said I.
Okay, and for this one
Sir,
you are
2.
getting 2. Fine. But
2.
what about this? So there are
Sir,
2 I.
yes.
So that index you are not getting by using this simple formula or simple syntax, right? So for that you need to use another parameter you need to pass. Okay, so first index you can store, first I index you can store in one variable, and another index, another I for index for another I you can store by this way. Now you can check what will be the output. Now,
Sir, why we use the I3 here?
yes.
I
So
mean, it is not that third number.
no, it is for the entities which are out of this range. Okay, so that means 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so after that, which index, which I is there? So it will search for that.
Okay.
মানে স্যার আইটা ফোর্থ
Previous number is there.
এই তো
Yes, yes.
আইটা ফোর্থ পজিশনে আছে বলে আমি 3টা নিলাম।
So you can take any other values also. Say for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 you are taking. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. So what will happen? So it is saying I is not in the list here. Okay. So my question is, you need to know that how many eyes are there, and you based on that you need to set this particular position. Okay, so you can check that with the different items. Say for example, we are putting 0, 1, 2. Okay, so you can check that it is also showing the same index. So that is the previous one, this one I. Okay, so 3 minus 1, 2, to 8th position this I is present, and that's why it is showing the same thing. Okay, and you know that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you place 4, so you can check that it is showing the syntax I. Okay, so basically you are trying to catch the next I in this way. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can check 4 and you can check 3. Both are giving this syntax.
Sir, so 4 is also correct, no?
4 is also correct. Yes. So you are
Sir, if
checking
there
this.
is more,
So
if there
accordingly,
is more,
you need to set that position value. Okay. According to, you need to set that position value where you are trying to check. Okay.
okay,
So okay.
sir, but sir, what if we cannot count it manually?
Yes. So
how can I
then
know?
you need to do it in different way. Okay. So
Okay,
first
okay,
you
sir.
need to identify that where the I is present. So you need to search for that, and then you need to make this kind of syntax using index. That is different issue. You can do it in many different way. It is for an example how you can find out some index
Okay,
position easily. Okay, so that is different job, that how many eyes are there. This kind of searching is also possible. So for that you need to use the loop. Okay, so that's why I told you that many things are associated. So until and unless we are going to that much, so it is difficult to explain using this simple syntax. Okay, so we'll look at that also. All right. So okay, so this is a very simple example given here how we can insert at a particular position some elements in a list at a particular position. Okay. Okay, so this is very interesting. Sometimes you have seen that you are creating a list in a Excel column. Okay, suppose you are trying to do some practical work, okay, in experimental lab, and then obviously you have seen that you are writing the result in an Excel format. Suppose experiment 1, you are using 3 replicate of that experiment 1. So you are getting 3 output and you are putting that output in an Excel sheet. So hopefully all of you have done that, this kind of experiment. Now, if you are trying to make that simple Excel format to here in Python program, you are trying to apply that same concept. So you can do that thing in this way. Okay, so basically you are making a different list. Okay, so you can check that this is a list which is equivalent to the Excel first row. Then the second list, this is also similarly the second row, and similarly the third row of that Excel. Okay, so these values you have already taken, and those are stored in different lists, list 1, list 2, list 3. Okay, this much is clear. What is the logic, how you can compare with some simple Excel thing and simple list thing. So in Excel you are putting that values in different cells, and if you are making that Excel first row as a list, suppose that contains 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, so you can do the same thing here using the same syntax. So list 1 equals to 1, 2, 3. All right. Now you may ask me that, then why you are using this? Then we can do it in Excel also, right? Yes, you can do that in Excel also, but the problem is when your data is some 1 GB format, 1 GB volume. Okay, so how can you open that in Excel, and how you will use that simple Excel? That Excel has some data limitation, right? It has specified columns and rows. Now, if your data exceeds that particular limit, so it will not be possible with Excel. So you need to use such programming. Okay. Now, suppose you want to extract some values. So, okay, so how we can use these three lists as a single list? First, we will check that, and that is known as nesting list. So you are writing this particular list variable names. You can see that list 1, comma, list 2, comma, list 3 within the third bracket. The third bracket indicates that it is a list. Okay, and you are putting the three lists inside this list, and you are storing that in a separate variable named as matrix. So matrix is basically one large list which will contain all three lists. Okay, okay, so it is already written. Just and then run. So now you can guess that what will be the output: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 1, 2, 3 within bracket. So that means still now this is another list. 4, 5, 6, that is also another list, and 7, 8, 9, that is also another list. All three lists are within a single list. This is a matrix. Okay. So those who have done some matrix in your class 2 level, so they can easily catch these things. And those who don't know about the matrix, so they should know. Obviously they have used the Excel, I guess, and if you know that these are the columns. 1, 4, 7 values are in a first column, 2, 5, 8 second column, and 3, 6, 9 third column. And row wise, this is first row, second row, and third row. Right? So if you are generalizing this thing, okay, with 0, 1, such kind of numbers, I mean that position of that particular cell. Okay, so now if you can see that this is a list, and the index of this element, what will be the index of 1? That
Says 0.
you all
0, 0.
You all know. No.
0, 0.
No, this is a simple list I am
0,
saying.
sir.
So 0. Yes. For 2, that is also 1, and for 3, 2. So that is for a simple list. Now, when we are making this a big list using these three lists, so then it is not a simple list. Okay. So this is a list of lists. So how we can catch the position of this one now? So think logically, you can understand that now this is the first element of the list, like this one, right? So my point is, this is a big list. How many elements are there? Of course, 3 elements, right? 3 small lists. So first list is containing 1, 2, and 3. These 3 elements, right? This much is clear for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I am saying that, okay, so then what will be the position of one of that particular list? So one of you has already informed me that that is 0, 0, right? So it is 0th row and 0th column position. Similarly, what will be the position of 2?
0, 1, sir.
0, 1. So then 3, 0, 2, if I'm not wrong. Then 4,
Sir,
1,
1,
1, 0.
1, 0.
why it will be 1, 0?
0, 2.
Why it will be 0, 2? Because now you look at this list element. So what is the position of this one?
Sir, 1. 0, 4, 2, sorry, sir, 3.
No. My point is, out of this long list, larger list, what is the position or index of this small list?
Sir,
List.
1.
1. Okay. And out of that list, what will be the position of
Sir,
this
1,
element?
0.
1 0.
0, sir.
Right?
1 0.
So now you can check that. So row wise it is 0 1, 1 row, and column wise it is again in 0th column, right? So
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
it will be 1 0, isn't it? So 5 will be
Sir, please repeat this
Sir, 1
question.
1. Sir, 1 1.
1
1 1. Yes. So now we are going to this part. Okay, I'm repeating again. I'm repeating the same thing. Now, if we are writing, so now we have already uh, taken this matrix, which contains all the list elements, right? This is a large matrix, and if we print this matrix, you can see that by this way, or you can see by this way also. So basically, you are writing this comma. So if I am writing in this fashion, say for example, if you are writing this way, 1 comma 2 comma 3, 5 comma 6, right? So this is the same thing, right? Within the third bracket, these 3 different lists are written. So this is written in one line. The same thing, right? Yes or no? This is the same thing I've written. So this is a matrix. Okay. So this is a matrix variable which contains all the list. Now, if I am saying that, okay, now you tell me what will be the position of second element of the second list if it is started from 0. So this is 0th row, first row, and second row. Okay. So using that logic.
Sir, 9.
Yes. So Koninika is saying 9. Now who said to repeat? So my question is for her.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Can you guess that if I am saying that, okay, you identify the third element of the first list?
Sir, 3.
Right. So similarly, third element for the second list?
6.
6. So now you need to know how we can do it, not by manual checking, but by some coding. Okay. So for that, we need to specify the index position of that particular value. Okay. Say for example, we can write this in this way, like matrix within the third bracket. We are placing the row number and then the column number. Okay. So basically, each cell will have some row number, row index, and some column index. Right. So if we are fixing this 2 2 in this way, so what it will print? It starts with 0. So now you can guess that.
9.
9. Very good. So let's run this, and we are getting that 9. And if you are trying to show the same matrix now, so you are getting the same result, same output. So matrix is not changed. This is the same matrix we are using, the previous one. You can see that we are only extracting the values. Now you can play with these things. So you cannot put here 2 comma 2, right? So then you will get a long error. Okay, that is not the syntax. How you can call this position. So this is the right syntax. 2 comma. Now if I am saying that, okay, I am changing this with 1 comma 2. So So what it will be?
Sir, 5. No, sir. 6.
6.
Right. So this is the logic. Okay. So this is shown here. So if you are trying to map first item, so you can use matrix 0. So if you are trying to grab this first item, so what it will print?
So 1.
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
Yes, 1, 2, 3.
Right. So this is the first element here in the long matrix, bigger matrix, and that will print 1, 2, 3 in a matrix, in a list. Okay. So it is now represented as a list again. And now, if we are putting another 0
It
in
will
the
print
third
1.
column, so it will
1,
print.
1.
So this
One.
is the yes.
1.
So I think it is now clear how you can use this matrix kind of thing. So there is an example given here. So I am not going to ask you to do this, but you can try this at your home. Probably you already got this material, so you can try and you can play with this. What will be the output of this code? Okay. All right. So next, there is a concept known as list comprehension, but I'm not going to do this because again you can see that this keyword is used here, and that is called for loop. So until and unless you know about this loop structure, so it will be difficult to understand. So that's why I'm not going to the details. Okay, we'll come back to this part again. Now, my question is, who has completed this task? This was given no? Last week. Have you checked that? Whatever. Anyone has not tried? Yes or no? If you have not done it, no problem, you can do it now. And if you have done it, anyone, so you can tell me. I can check that whether you are doing right thing or wrong thing. So out of 90 students, no one has done this.
No, sir.
Okay, so you need, all of you need to do this and you need to submit it tomorrow. Okay, I will give you some link. I will check that what you are doing. Okay. So this is very practical way how what you have learned till now using the list command, list syntax, list methods, and you are trying to apply those knowledge. All these things are only one liner. Okay, you don't need to write long code. So how many lines are written here, and you need to write that much of lines only to get this out. Okay. All right. Now next, we will move to the next thing, that is tuple, or you may say that is tuple, whatever you may call, but things remain same. Next, we'll see. This is one kind of data structure. Okay. Is it shared now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So far we have discussed. Okay, let me know if you have any doubt in string or list. You can tell me. So if you are not writing any code, I think you will not find any difficulty. All these things are fine. Someone informed me that, sir, when you are explaining the things, it's very easy. But after that, I can't remember anything. Okay. So that is the problem with programming. Even if you are asking me to write some code with some newer concept, so I might be stuck because I don't know that, and I need to know the syntax and how to use that thing, and then I need to apply that, right? So programming is something different, which needs some practice. So until and unless you are writing some codes by your own and check where you are, where your problem lies. So then you can identify that problem and then you try to solve that, and by this way you can learn. Okay. So when I am asking that what problems you are facing, if you are saying that okay sir, no problem is there, so that means either you can apply these things very like what I'm saying, that efficiently, right? Or another thing is that you are not writing at all any code, and that's why you are not finding any difficulty. Okay, so choice is yours, no problem. Now the next item, that is tuple or tuple. Now the first thing is that this is same or similar kind of object which is used in Python programming, but similar with list. And the difference, the major difference is these tuples values are immutable. So that means once you created this variable or this object or this tuple thing, so the values within this tuples cannot be changed, cannot be modified. So in list, you can remember that we can modify the value. Okay, once you have created the list, so then you can extend that list, or you can pop out some list element, or you can insert one particular element in a particular position. So all these things are possible in case of list, but those are not allowed in this tuple. Now you may ask me, so then why we are doing this, right? You may ask that question. So if it is not so flexible kind of thing, list, so why you are using that? So list is better. Yes, so maximum time we use list, but when you know that something is fixed, right? Say for example, your roll number and your name, so that is already fixed. If you are trying to modify that thing, so that is a wrong thing. You cannot change that your roll number, so that will create some problem, right? So sometimes in some practical purpose, we need to fix some values with some values, and in that cases you will use tuples, not list. So that is the difference. Is it clear? Say for example, the dates of a calendar or the days of the weeks. So these are already fixed. You cannot change these things. You cannot modify them. Right. Okay. So what is the syntax? How you can construct the tuples? So very easy way, just like the list. The difference is the symbol. You can see that this is the first bracket only, not the third bracket. Okay. So you can see that if we are writing t equal to 1 to 3, and if we are printing that, we are getting the same tuple, but not within the third bracket. We are getting it in the first bracket. So if the output is from the output itself, you can check that what variable it is and what elements you are storing that variable, what is the type of this thing, and you can check that by type also. Okay, so you can check that by type also. So type is a keyword, and you can see that it is in a tuple, not list. If you can try to write the same values within a variable t, and now if you write t, so now you can check the difference only with the bracket, nothing else. Okay. So similarly, you can check the length of the.
Sir, why we need to do this? I mean, what is the use of this tuple?
Just now I have explained that thing. When the values are fixed for something. Okay. Suppose you want to use some long list of values which will not be modified further. Okay. In that case, you use tuple. So you can use list, but sometimes in a long code, if you are using list by mistake, you can change, you can modify some values. Okay, but your intention is not to modify that value. And if you are using list, you will not notice such kind of error, and the code will run, and you will get some result, and you will happy, and you will go home. But ultimately, your result is 0 because that value should not be changed. Okay, and to avoid such situation, you can create a list like thing. The values are fixed there, so that's why you are using tuple. Okay, so just we'll see one example right now, then it will be more clear. So suppose we can do it length equal to 3. You can see that only 3 elements are there, and you can mix different kinds of objects like list. It allows that 1 or 2. So this is a string, this is a value. So all these things are possible. Okay, you can check this. Okay, and you can use the index also. So t equal to 0, it will print what?
1, sir.
This one, right?
Yes, sir.
And similarly, you can use slicing. Negative indexing or slicing is also allowed. So yeah. Okay. The next thing, we'll check that there's a concept known as tuple unpacking. So that means when we are not writing this brackets over here, okay, this is missing, right? So by chance you missed this thing, so you might be thinking that okay, it is wrong. No, it is also creating a tuple. Okay, it is also creating a tuple. How you will know that? So just type T3, and it is saying that it's already a tuple. And if you print this tuple, so you are getting that it is already there. So not a very big deal that this is already unpacked position. Okay. Now using some index, the same index syntax, index method, you can find out the index of this code. Okay. So these are the same thing. Okay. Already discussed about this, and you can use count also. So suppose this is your tuple, and you want to count how many times 1 is there. So obviously you can use t.count1, and it will be good. Now this is the difference between list and tuple. So this is immutable, as I have already mentioned. So in case of list, for this case, you can assign that t, suppose in one position 0, you want to make it okay, this one. And now if you type t, so you can see that one value is modified by this. Can you notice that? So this is the list, and we are modifying this one value 1, or position 1 element by this way. So we are just assigning this position value with some other name, and you can see the changes over there. Clear? Is it clear?
Okay, sir. Yes, yes.
So you can change position 2 value also. So then you will get a different output. So that is possible in list. Okay. But now think, if we are trying to apply that concept with this tuple. So this tuple. So tuple was taken here, this one. Now you are trying to modify this one with change. The same concept we are trying to apply. Then we are getting error because tuple object does not support item assignment. So you cannot modify these elements once you have created this. That is the main difference. Okay. You cannot append or extend something like this. Again, you will get some error. All right, it's clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine. Now, the empty tuple. So sometimes we need to create some empty tuple so that we can put some elements on that. Okay. So this is the way how you can create. So similar way, in case of list, empty list, we are putting it in third bracket. So here we are using first bracket only. Now, if you are creating this and printing the T4 and type, so you will get that only it is a blank or vacant tuple. So that's why it is showing this. And type T4, so it is saying that it is a tuple. That's all. And this is the difference between list. So you can check that syntax on. The difference is in syntax or the symbols on. Nothing else. So okay, sometimes if you are trying to build one tuple with single element, so these are the tricks. If you are trying to put this one element in a first bracket, you want to make this as a tuple, so you can do it. But if you run it, you can see that that is taken as a string, not a tuple. Okay, so that is the inherent characteristics of Python programming. If you are trying to assign one value in a tuple, so you are getting that you cannot do it by this way. Okay, so then how to solve this problem? Then you need to add one more comma after this. Okay, this is a trick how we can overcome such problems. So now we can see that this is the tuple. Okay, and is it clear what I'm trying to explain here?
স্যার আগেরটা একবার রিপিট করবেন?
This one.
না না, এর আগে যেটা দেখালেন।
This one.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, এমটি টাপলটা কেন করব?
Okay, suppose I am saying that, okay, I am giving you 50 different balls. Okay, and I am saying that store these balls somewhere. So what you will do? You will take a container, a blank container. Yes or no? You will take a blank container, and inside that you will put that 50 different balls. Right? So in programming language also, sometimes some new values which are arising from your code, and that values you need to store in some place. Okay. So first, for that, you first assign that thing. You should take that particular container, which is blank already. If some values are already there, so you cannot again store some balls there. if 50 balls are already there and the total capacity is 50, so you cannot put 50 balls again in that container. It is not possible practically. The same concept is used here. You are taking, suppose you are calculating something and you want to, you are getting some results from that. Now your job is to store that result in somewhere, in some container. Okay. So if it is a long list elements, I mean, if the results are different, if the results or if the outcomes of that particular code is different, say for example, it is producing 100 odd numbers. Okay. So 100 odd numbers, you need to store somewhere for future use, right? So for that you can use list, or for that you can use tuple. But if you know that it is not, in further cases you are not going to modify the values of that particular list element, so better to use list, better to use tuple. So that is why you are using this empty concept, empty tuple concept. So first you need to define that you are taking some empty container, and then only you can put some values in that particular container. So is it clear why you are using this?
Yes, sir.
So now, okay, so let me again do these things. Now, if you are trying to put some values, like what was that, P4, now you are trying to put some value like 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that means you have already created this thing and you are trying to assign this 1, 2, 3 in this bank T4. Okay, so now if you run this and if you print this T4, so you are getting that it is, yes, it is assigned as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so similarly, here I just wanted to make one tuple with one single string. Now it is not allowing me to build a tuple because by default it is taking as string. Now to overcome this problem, what I am doing, I am putting one extra comma here, and now it is showing me that it is the type tuple, data structure type is tuple. Okay, I think this is clear now, right?
Yes, sir.
Now tuple indexing and slicing the same way what we have used for list, you can use for tuple indexing and slicing. Okay, and you can apply the negative indexing also, no problem. Okay, now that is a nice concept. So those who have already done some.
So, sir,
Yes.
in case of tuple, we cannot join or erase the element.
No.
But we exchange the position.
Exchange the position means?
I mean, sir, yes, sir. Tuple first, there we first they say that there was in one position you exchange a element with a word. If I want 1, 2, 3, like we take a tuple 1, 2, 3. If we want to exchange a 1, 0 element with some words, we can do it.
No, you cannot do that. That's why we have seen this example. We cannot do that because it is already created, the tuple, and we cannot modify this word with some other word. We cannot change this value with some other value.
But sir, just in the previous one, you just show that the
Which one?
you just read the word join the. Can you sir scroll up?
Which one?
Yes. JSDN
So
Yes,
this is
sir.
for list. This is for list. That is possible for list, not for tuple. That's why I showed this example.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. I just confused.
Yeah, okay, no problem. That kind of confusion is good. So then you will learn what you are doing. Okay. So
sir.
this is for a list, not for tuple. That is the difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Don't be sorry. That is good. This kind of problem if arise, so then you understand that you are learning something. No problem. Don't be sorry. Okay.
Sir, if we use some strings or we have done some tuples, so how can we save it?
Save means
I mean, next time যখন আমি খুলছি জুপিটারে তখন ওইটা থাকছে না, আমি কিভাবে সেভ করব বুঝতে পারছি না।
বুঝলাম কোথায় সেভ করব, where you want to save and which one, which take an example first and then ask me. Can you give one example where from where you are trying to save and which one you want to save?
এনিথিং এনিথিং আই মিন যে কোনো একটা, ধরুন আমি টাপল করলাম, কিছু কাজ করলাম, যেমন সাপোজ আপনি একটা হোমওয়ার্ক দিয়েছেন, আমি সেটা করলাম, এটা আপনাকে মানে এটা তো কোথাও একটা সেভ করে ধরুন নোটপ্যাডে বা সামহাও একটা সেভ করে আপনাকে আমি পাঠাতে পারবো না,
So
না
you
হলে
are
আমি
saying
সেন্ড
that
করবো
you are
কিভাবে?
using Jupyter notebook and it is where you will
Yes,
save
yes.
it, right?
হুম
So
হুম
for that, what you can do, it is already saved, right? It is saved like this. So if you go to the directory, you will find that this is stored as IPYNB. So that is IPython notebook. So okay, so that is already saved, and now you can open that thing again. So for example, I have opened this page, and now you can go to file, and then you can see that download as Python file. So this is the easiest way how you can convert this whole code as a Python file. Okay, suppose I am extracting this thing, download this thing. So it will ask me, it is already downloaded in my download section. So now I am opening that. I don't know. Okay.
স্যার আমাকে এরকম দেখাচ্ছে না।
So what you can see?
স্যার আমাকে দেখাচ্ছে untitled 2.py was blocked because this type of file can harm your device.
Yes, that is also showing in my case. But if you go to your download section and you want to open it with right click and open it with notebook or some notepad, so you will see the code. Okay, and that code you can run in
Can
any
you
other.
please show that thing? I can't understand actually.
Okay, let me go back to the file position. So you keep this, okay. So can you see this, what I have done? Yes or no? Is it visible or not?
No sir.
Yes sir.
Not
So okay, I am again doing that thing. I don't know. Let me share my full screen, otherwise you cannot see that. Okay, suppose I want to save this page as Python file. Okay, you can do it for any of this format. You can make it PDF, you can save it Py. So any format you can try. So I think you are trying to save it with Py format. Now you can check that. Can you see this? This kind of things you are trying to get, right? And now if you try to open, so it is showing that dictionaries Py blocked because it can harm your device. This kind of things you are getting. Is it so?
Yes sir.
Now
Yes sir.
yes, now you can click this and you say that keep this file. Okay, I think you are getting such options or more actions.
Yes sir. Yes sir. Now got this.
Now keep this file. keep this, and now it is open.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can see that all these lines, whatever written, so saved as a .py file. Okay, all right. So today we don't have time. It is already 10. So you need to leave because I think you have another class, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, if I do the programming through the Jupyter Lab, so is this the saving option was the same? Actually, I do my programming through the Jupyter Lab, not Jupyter Notebook.
What options are there? So such kind of file saving options are there.
No, sir, they are just the index was there. The files were there. The next panel there are files. There are when I suppose I open some.
So why you are using Jupyter Lab? So you can use Jupyter Notebook or ideally any kind of thing. I actually don't use Jupyter Lab. From where you got this thing? Jupyter Lab.
Anaconda Navigator from Anaconda Navigator.
Okay, so I told you to use the Jupyter Notebook. If you are running this in Jupyter Notebook, so then it will be easy to reuse and easy to save it in another format. So use that thing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I think you have already installed this thing, Jupyter Notebook in your computer. It is there. If you type here Jupyter Notebook, you can see that this kind of thing is there, and you just open it. Okay.
Okay,
Are you getting my point?
Yes,
and
sir.
there,
Yes, sir.
there you open a new file and new notebook, which is Python 3, and then run your code there like this way. Okay.
So actually, at first, when I want to open the Jupyter Notebook, I face problem. It doesn't run. That's why I shift to Jupyter Lab for the practicing. The program.
Okay. Okay. Let me check that thing if I can do something. I need to check in Jupyter Lab. Okay.
And one in Jupyter, this lab, I show one thing that it's saved automatically in the files. There was side up panel showed there's a name of the files, and like when I practice here now for classwork, there was show 3 minutes ago untitled Python was there was show a folder.
Yes. So for that you can. So same thing happen here. If I'm opening that thing, so it will be saved here in your directory as untitled file. Okay, you click on that, you will get the same file. There's no problem, but you can rename that.
How can I change the rename? How can I rename that?
So you click on this checkbox, and you can so you go back to your untitled file, and here the option rename. Okay, now you change your new file also. Okay, now you can check, you can go back and you can check that file name is changed. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. It is done.
Okay, so you can do it from here. Open this and file, go to file, and then there is option called rename. Okay,